Cameras ready? Great. Good afternoon and welcome to Powder Mills Park. My name is Patrick Meredith and I'm Monroe County Parks Director. You've all been invited here to learn a little bit more about the plans we have to upgrade our existing facilities in the parks. When I came on as director last year, one of my first priorities was to meet with division heads and get out to meet our crews in the parks. I learned very quickly that our facilities, many of which are 60 years old or more, have been very well used and are in need of serious care if we plan to continue to enjoy them. I had my team members do an assessment of each of the parks and the needs they had related to maintenance, and it became clear that the normal resources we have in our budget and CIP program would really not be enough to maintain our existing and unique facilities. There's proof right here in this park that if we don't maintain them, we will lose them. The cost of building new is extremely expensive now, so maintaining what we have is more important than ever, especially when the demand for them has increased over the past year. I felt it was my duty to highlight what was unacceptable in our parks rather than the good, which there is, to the county executive and his administration before we continue down the same path. It is my responsibility to make sure everything in our historic park system gets equal attention. With that, I'm excited to announce to the Monroe County residents and those who frequent our parks that County Executive Bello is responding to our concerns and has come up with a plan to help us travel on a different path that gets our parks facilities back to a condition that we would expect them to be. I want to welcome County Executive Bello to share some of this exciting news. Thank you.
Thank you, Patrick, and it's really great to be with all of you here today. Patrick, our Monroe County Parks Director, and the Parks team who's joining us today. We're spending a lot of time together these days, and I'm just delighted there's so many good things happening here. And of course, all the folks who are joining us today who are such great advocates for our park system and for all that we have to offer. Patrick said in his remarks just now that there are good. We're going to talk a little bit about the good, the bad, and the ugly today, but there's a lot of good in our parks, and it's because of you fine folks, so thank you for the work you do in advocating for our parks. And we really do have some amazing county parks. We have 22 parks in our Monroe County park system, and I want to thank the dedicated men and women who work so hard to make our parks so special and make sure that they're ready for all of our families to go out, explore the trails, and take part in so many recreational activities. And you guys really did an amazing job yesterday, too, with our first movies in the park at Highland Bowl, and I encourage residents to please come out. We have a number of movies left, so you can explore our parks and watch a really great film as well. I also want to thank members of the county legislature who are here today. Legislator John Baines, whose district we're in. Welcome, John. And also Legislator Howard Mafucci. Thank you guys for joining us here today. So when the pandemic hit us last year, we were all encouraged to go outside for safe recreational activity. And we know that so many people here in Monroe County did just that. In fact, our park attendance was higher than ever, and we expect that trend to continue. Like so many of you, my family and I, we went to our parks as well. We walked, we hiked, we played. I even hurt myself while out for a run. But recovered now. The wing is moving a little bit better. But while our parks are undoubtedly beautiful, I have to say that a lot of times I really didn't like what I saw. So take a look at some of these pictures that I brought with me today. And take a look at the lodge when you leave here today. The insulation is so poor and the windows are in such disparate repair that we can't rent this lodge out year-round. It's limited in when our residents can use it. From November to April, it gets too cold. This lodge here can't be rented out for holiday parties, birthdays, and other gatherings. Handicap parking isn't that accessible to people who need it, and this is just one of the many examples of lodges in this condition across the county park system. Some of our bathrooms aren't ADA compliant and haven't been renovated since before this year's graduating high school seniors were even born. In fact, if you go back to Park Road, there's a bathroom facility near the Rand Lodge that's in need of some major upgrades. Of our 40 park lodges, were places where families gather to celebrate reunions, gatherings, and weddings, 32 of them, so 32 out of the 40 park lodges, haven't been updated since the first Woodstock Festival. And the biggest hit films were Chitty Chitty Bang Bang and Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. So you might wonder, though, why does this matter? Why does it matter that we continue to invest in our parks? Our parks and open spaces need to be accessible, welcoming, and well-maintained. We talk a lot about equity and making sure that the services we provide have equal access and equitable access to people across our community. So it's important to remember that our parks are free and they're open to everyone, no matter your age or your economic status. They offer year-round activities: fishing, skiing, geocaching, boating, snowshoeing, biking, swimming, sledding, the list just goes on. And our lodges and pavilions are an affordable way for so many families to gather in celebration of family community events. So it makes me so happy every time I drive into a park and you see the balloons, you know what I'm talking about. You see the big balloon displays and the handmade paper signs, you know, talking about, you know, our children's graduations or happy birthday, happy anniversary, with the big red arrows pointing to the shelters. Our parks are places of joy, and I believe that our families deserve nothing but the best. For far too long, those in charge, I think, ignored basic maintenance in favor of new buildings and ribbon cuttings. But you can't remodel the kitchen when the roof is leaking, and our roofs are leaking. Our parks are an essential public service. They're places and individuals connect with nature. An important part of investments. The National Recreation and Park Association says the community's quality parks and recreation is one of the top 3 reasons businesses cite when they're making decisions to relocate. So as we continue our journey to bring Monroe back with a recovery agenda focused on public health and wellness, a clean and sustainable future, critical infrastructure improvements, and economic recovery and workforce development, we must also make investments in our parks. In the coming days, I'll be submitting a referral to the Monroe County Legislature for my Go Outside Monroe Parks Revitalization Initiative. Today I'm announcing my plan to invest $7.2 million to renovate and upgrade our county park facilities and infrastructure over the course of the next year. This plan will touch all corners of the county. We're going to upgrade lighting, replace broken doors, hardware, and windows, fix those leaking roofs, and solve long-standing drainage issues. We're also going to address serious structural issues in our lodges, shelters, and Parks Department labor centers. This capital improvement program includes major upgrades to 44 lodges and bathrooms, making them ADA compliant and more modern for users, new roofing and gutters in 25 county park facilities. It includes roadway, walkway, and parking lot resurfacing and paving in 17 county parks, improved lighting in Ontario Beach Park, Genesee Valley Park, and Seneca Park, resurfacing pickleball and tennis courts at Churchville Park, Ontario Beach Park, Greece Canal Park, Ellison Park, and Webster Park. When all is said and done, this capital improvement program will touch 17 of the 22 Monroe County parks in one way or another. This is years of neglect finally going answered in an investment in our park system that reflects their popularity with our residents and the importance and significance that they play in our community and for our families. The Go Outside Monroe Parks Revitalization Initiative will be the first system-wide parks project this county has seen in decades. It's time. It's long past time, and I've said before that we're going to bring Monroe back together. And I'm urging our colleagues in the Monroe County Legislature to come together for the good of our community and help make those critical infrastructure improvements to our parks and open spaces so that we can keep engaging with the outdoors and we can all continue to enjoy everything that our full park system countywide have to offer into our bright future. So now I'm going to ask my colleague, Legislator John Baines, whose district we're standing in today here at Powder Mills Park, to come on up and say a few words.
Well, I've been a teacher for 45 years, and my philosophy every day is let's get better. And that's a sign of a healthy person, it's a sign of a healthy community, and it's really a sign of a healthy park system. But when the park system gets better, it just doesn't affect the park system, it affects all the people who use it, our children, our grandchildren, and our grandchildren's children. So the legacy effect of these changes are going to be massive. And I think it's very significant that we made a team, that we're a team when it comes to the parks. In fact, we're such a team that on the way in here, my jacket got so wet that I took the jacket right off Howard Mafucci, my fellow legislator. So I think that just shows, you know, Howard, you took one for the team. So thank you for letting. I am in the Rotary, but I'm not an incoming president, so there's a little bit of, you know, misrepresentation going on there. But Howard's about to be the new president of the Rotary in Pittsburgh, president-elect, yeah. I'm a Rotarian too, so. But I just want to share a brief thought about my experience. I grew up in a house with 12 people, 9 brothers and sisters, mom and dad, in East Rochester, and the house next door was only a couple feet away. There was no driveway. And then the driveway, we couldn't pull the car in and get the doors open. So Dad would have to let us out at the sidewalk and then pull the car in. And we had a backyard about the size of this lodge. So the chance for the 12 of us as a family to get out, you know, and I teach Henry David Thoreau to 12th graders, and I teach Emerson. And in America, nature is in many ways our church. It's another church for all of us. It represents democracy. The great poet Whitman speaks about nature as forming our hearts, forming our souls. So I loved hearing County Executive Bello speaking about families. What a delightful day. What a proud day. And I can tell you right now that I will be your top cheerleader when this law comes before the county legislature. Let's get it passed. Let's get to work. We don't need more ribbon cuttings. We need to get down to basics and deal with infrastructure and things that are not glamorous, but in the end will deliver for our community. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, legislator. And are there any questions that the media might have? No? Okay, that means we did.
I'm sorry.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
What do you guys expect the attendance to be for adult parks?
Well, I don't know in terms of numbers, but I know. Do you guys have estimates?
I can assure you that everything is rented out, so all of
There
our
you go.
facilities are full.
Yep.
There's not a vacant spot in the park, so
Yeah.
we expect full attendance.
And one thing I can tell you is, you know, one thing I'm always delighted to see, you know, on holiday weekends like this, I expect the parks to be very fully utilized. There's the families, it's every weekend you go out. We've had some great weather, some hot weather, especially last weekend. Families are really utilizing our county park system, and I think that's just a great thing. You know, we learned during the pandemic, you know, one of the healthiest things we can do is be outside, right? Be outside, get healthy, exercise, enjoy nature, enjoy your community, be part of a family, a larger family here, and you know, our residents deserve something in return for that, and a really great space to be in, and that's what this investment really is all about. And the parks are really utilized. I know the need is there. We kicked off the Concerts by the Shore series at Ontario Beach Park. Hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of people, families from all over the community coming out to enjoy the music, right? We were at Highland Bowl yesterday, all the families that came out for the movies, but you're looking around, people walking their dogs, enjoying the trails and everything else. But these lodges and shelters play such an important role in our families' lives. When you drive into any one of our parks, and you, like I said, you see those big homemade signs or the balloon bouquets, and you know the arrows pointing to a graduation party, anniversary parties, birthday parties. This is where memories are made, and residents pay. They pay taxes to support this county park, and they deserve a facility they can be proud of, and they can invite their friends, their neighbors, people from out of town here, and really have a good time. So we're really excited about the projects, and for the media to we listed all the projects up here, so you can get a look at exactly where the funds are estimated to go and the different improvements. And what you can see, one thing that's striking about the list of places we're investing in as well is that it really is across the board, across all the county facilities, and it's really about bringing them back up to a modernized, that we're modernizing all the parks, bringing them back up to standard, and again, giving us facilities we can be proud of. Okay, awesome. right,
Should,
yeah.
should this referral pass,
Mhm.
7.2 million is a reasonable chunk of change, so
It
should
sure
it
is.
pass, where would that money be coming from?
So this is a significant dollar amount that, this is an update to the county CIP, and it's funds that will be made available through there. And the construction, just so you're aware too, so when the county legislature hopefully approves this proposal at next month, so it'll be at the next month's meeting, construction can start right away, immediately. These are projects that the Parks Department's been working for a long time, identifying and working with stakeholders who use the parks to identify where we think where we think we get the most significant bang for the buck. Yes, also we're joined by our state assembly member, Jen Lunsford, who is a huge supporter of the park system as well, and we're in Jen Lunsford's district here as well, so welcome, Jen. All right, so anybody have any other questions? Very good, thank you so much for being here.